Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Triple R Ryan's Raw Reactions, and today we are continuing our deep dive into the Chris Watts case, where I look up everything for the first time. The original part 3 of this on the JCS channel was deleted, but I found a re-upload. So here we go, the case of Chris Watts, part 3, the confession, right now.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I
Chris,
know.
stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
So, part 2, Chris Watts completely flubbed the lie detector, because of course he did, because he's a liar, and he's a monster.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to
She's good, man.
just come clean and just be done with this.
This is a technique known as social exchange, an interpersonal persuasion strategy in which the interrogator provides the suspect with a psychological reward in return for the information they need. In this case, she's trying to convince Chris that the alleviation of mental weight is a worthy trade for a confession. She does this in a manner that protects his self-esteem by giving him appreciative reinforcements.
I mean, this is almost like a technique people can use with like people that are cheating. It's like, you know, just get it out of your system. If you're cheating, just let me know, okay? Because I know it's eating you up inside. It's the same exact technique that people try to get people to admit that they're, you know, committing adultery.
And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today. And you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest.
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I could tell you right now, like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph, so I know you were being deceptive, so that's not even an issue right now.
I love that she's not even allowing him to spew his BS, because you could tell he's trying to do this empathy thing. He's trying to sound like, I'm exhausted. No chance, buddy.
Now, the issue right now is what happened to Shannan, Bella, and Celeste.
The following tactic is called the futility technique, a building block to induce a sense in a suspect that any resistance on behalf of their cause is futile due to the overwhelming evidence against them. This was obviously not the case, as polygraphs are not admissible evidence, and Chris was in fact still free to leave at this point.
That's the issue right now.
Also, yeah, I read in the comments, like, you can just say, no, I refuse to take a polygraph. And then they'll be like, okay. He was dumb and was like, okay, I'll do it.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like,
Okay.
I'm not, like, trying to, like, cover things up, like...
Yeah, but you kind of are, because it's normal.
This is no longer an interview to collect information. The steps of asking questions and receiving answers is over, and the interrogators are now in the process of leading the suspect into a state of mental exhaustion. The detectives will attentively watch for denials and stop them before they can be voiced. Letting the suspect deny his guilt will only increase his confidence and prolong his cerebral stamina.
Once again, if you are innocent in this situation and someone is saying, like, if your wife and possibly kids are missing and possibly gone off this earth, and someone is saying to you, we know you did it, I would be like going insane. Like, I'd be like, I did not do that. And I, like, you know, and like, you'd be shaking and you'd be like, this is insane. And he's just like, I know, but like, I was honest, and like, you know, except now suddenly very almost boyish with the way he's speaking, very timid and a lot of likes and ums. You would be emphatically almost disgusted at this interrogator at the thought of them telling you, oh, we know that you did it. I'd be, oh, yeah? Really? You know what I'm saying?
Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home, like.
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused, okay? And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yeah.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads, okay? That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than you think we do.
The dossier
The
technique.
dossier technique is
I love the dossier technique. The dossier technique, you dumbass. You didn't say it right.
a variant of the futility technique, the only difference being that the detectives are far more cryptic and often deceptive about the evidence they have.
Yeah.
This will hint at things in a vague manner for the purpose of escalating a suspect's uncertainty.
That's like the classic, we know what you did. They almost want to confuse you. You know that we know what you know what you did. You're like, we know what they know what we know.
Where are they?
I am blocking Chris right now, but there's nothing, you know. I can't keep moving my, he's not doing anything.
I don't know where they're at.
This is like Batman interrogating the Joker. Where are they?
Honestly, I do not know where they are at.
The pause technique.
If I could have my
works
babies back home right now, I would.
so well with this
I
guy.
want them back. I want everybody back.
They know that if they don't say anything and just stare at him, he will just keep talking. Like he's like a parrot.
God's honest truth.
Although the detectives want to intensify Chris's psychological stress levels, they do not want him to become reactively agitated, as this could lead him to objecting and resisting every step of the way, and the interrogation will never get off the ground. It also significantly increases the chances of him requesting legal counsel and ending the interrogation outright.
Mm-hmm.
This elicits the interrogator to change approach and utilize what is known as the ego up technique.
This filter looks like when I first got like a laptop and they had those weird like photo booth filters and it was like, cool, look at that, it looked like a cartoon.
Where the detective will build on the self-respect of the suspect through positive reinforcement.
It is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning, and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack.
He's buttering
and
him up.
dinner, and a nighttime snack.
You're a good dad.
You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them. But you weren't here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
Uh-oh, okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. It's working. I cheated on her. Is that with that Nicole girl, huh? I need to do a deep dive on that Nicole girl. Look, I'm telling you guys, when I'm making these series, I'm not trying to do no one and dones. I really want to watch until you guys just stop watching. Because at first, the Brian Koberger video I just posted, like on Thursday, that video was doing really bad. And I was like, I'm surprised. And now it's doing much better. I want to make these type of videos for a long time. And it's fun to have an audience of you guys that either don't know the case and learn it with me, or know the case and can give me information. It's really enjoyable. So I got a lot to watch, but make sure you watch that Brian Koberger video if you haven't yet. It's crazy.
I know. And this is very
And that
good.
trial's coming up in, I think, August.
I saw her, took my breath away, and I never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I never felt that way about
Took my breath away. Yeah, you took your family's breath away, literally.
anybody in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not proud of it. She accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and
Oh my gosh.
it was.
You gotta be. This dude is the worst type of person already because of what he did, but cheating on your pregnant wife. That's like Austin McBroom status. Like, what are you doing?
I don't want to. I didn't hurt her.
You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth because you're a truth teller.
You
I
two
don't
are
think
crushing it.
this girl did anything to hurt anybody. I'm going to leave her out of it.
Okay.
I'll get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know.
Where are they? I love how he slid that in there.
That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, like, what I did. I know.
Chris, in the interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about...
I was holding back from last night.
That's
when
not
you
why
talked.
you failed today.
That's not how that works.
Here's the challenge that we have. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to, because we knew, okay? And so that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer, okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife.
I am too.
This should have been the happiest time of your marriage, okay? You and Shannan. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids.
Exactly that too. It just shows that, like, man, when you think of the American dream, he kind of had it. Beautiful wife, 2 kids, another one on the way, beautiful home, great job, great stable income, and it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough. I mean, it just goes to show you just never know, man. You just never know. What people think might be the American dream, to some, like Chris, he was living some nightmare.
Beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shannan's the reason none of that happened.
This is called the how and why solution, a technique that allows the suspect to admit a lesser act and blame the victims, while at the same time minimizing the crime and motivations of his actions.
I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should.
See, this is so smart. Turning it on Shannan. She's the problem, right, Chris? You know? It's not you. Couldn't be you. Look at you, man. You're perfect.
I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, whoa, buddy. That's because you're a good person. And I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay? It's ironic that we're talking about you and Nikki. I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about
Okay. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay? Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. His dad is probably just, oh my gosh, just so confused. And I would assume that his dad does not believe Chris did it.
Okay. You're lying to him.
Good, smart though. Get the family involved. Once again, I'm blocking Chris. You're missing the back of his head. Okay? I promise you're not missing nothing.
You're lied to everyone you talk to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them.
I want to find them. I love them.
I told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? How is it possible that a woman and 2 kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
As the interrogation goes on, the constant and relentless psychological pressure essentially puts Chris at the edge of his ability to function cognitively. It's a slow and methodical process of breaking down his resistance while maintaining a balance of pugnacious and reassuring psychological techniques.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional conversation with Shannan, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here.
Yep.
Not one.
You know the type of cry you would be having if your wife and children were missing? It would be that type of cry where, like, you're doing the, like you can't get your breath. There's just your nose is running. You can't. You're hiccuping. It would be that type of a cry. It would be the type of cry where it's like you can't control yourself. Not the fact that he isn't crying. I mean, look, I know people handle things and trauma in certain ways, but come on now. I mean, that's ridiculous.
And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls.
Show the picture again, yep.
And you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds and I start to go panic.
Yep, that makes
sense.
Yep.
I have not seen any of that from you.
My dog got off his leash once, and I had to chase him, and I was legit, like, almost in tears, screaming to make sure he didn't keep running, and then finally got him. Now I know not to run and just to lay on the ground, and it works. But, like, and that's not even a child. That's a dog. My dog is my child, but you know what I mean. I have a tattoo of it. Well, you can't. There he is. Him in a ghost costume. It's upside down, but that was him. I had a dream that he trick-or-treated my house. Also, one of you guys asked what my hand tattoo says. It says my guardian angels. I have a lot of tattoos for people in my family and some friends and stuff that have passed away. I have a whole arm sleeve. Not everybody knows that. Up and around and a bunch of stuff. But yeah.
At all.
I get where she's
Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do any of this because I haven't shed a tear.
Now he's
Yeah,
trying to
no,
cry.
that's weird.
Now he's trying to cry.
Is that weird?
Don't.
Okay, I'm blocking. It says sniffles on cue. Right. And now suddenly his brain goes, oh, cry. Right. Human. I'm human. He's a sociopath. So this is the cue for him to cry now.
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Tell
I love
me,
my wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her,
Yeah.
but you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
In the next moments, you will see step 7 of the Reed interrogation technique known as the alternative question, where the suspect is given an alternative and far more morally acceptable choice for what happened.
Chris, did Shannan do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
You see how he answered that no right away? Did Shannan do something to them? No, I don't know. Little thing, but I caught on to that. He knew right away that she didn't do nothing. His initial answer should have been, I have no idea. I hope not.
Clue.
No, you would have known, because they didn't leave the house. Did Shannan do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shannan?
They were at the house when I left. They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were
The
there.
only way they could have left is in your truck.
Did Shannan do something?
Something happened in the house that you know about. We know that something happened to all 3 of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shannan.
Chris, you gotta tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know.
She's good too, especially like calling them baby girls, basically like reiterating these are young children, these are babies. Okay, making sure he looks at the picture, making sure that picture's in plain view, so he shows some sort of emotion.
Before he came in, I was watching videos.
I was watching videos. Wow, you're such a hero, Chris.
We have no doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt. But we make mistakes.
That's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
Ceases outright denial.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, it's going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
This is intense, man.
Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. And that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does. And you either cleaned up after Shannan or you made the mistake. And I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shannan did it and you felt compelled to fix this so Shannan didn't look bad. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know, you're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like,
I almost feel like what she's doing him now is giving him an out. She knows he did it, but giving him an out to be like, yeah, you know what? I did cover up for Shannan. So then they can turn it around on him and be like, okay, how did you do it? So then he has to make up something real quick and be like, oh, crap. Kind of trap him.
I did not do anything.
All three of them?
I did
Like,
not do anything with these kids. Not do anything.
what did Shannan do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, he flew across the country.
Hey, Chris,
I can't.
how about this? If we brought your dad in here,
Oh,
would you
man.
please tell him what happened?
This is going to be insane. The dad is about to come in the interrogation room?
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child,
This is wild stuff, dude.
and he will not stop loving you.
Never.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story. At all. Okay.
There's that clock going wild. I love looking at the clock
Hey,
spinning.
Chris, we're going to let you have however much time you need, okay?
Sure. You gonna leave us in there or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Tell us what's going on with anything, or?
And this, polygraph failed it. Yeah, because there's
Too much emotions.
it's,
Anything else you want to tell me, what's going on, or what happened, or anything, if you know anything about?
when we had that conversation that morning, it was emotional and told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. What happened after that?
It's I almost feel like the dad is suspicious. Because as always, if you think your son is innocent, you'd be like, I know you didn't do anything. I know this isn't you. He's like, did you do something? What happened? It's like Chris is teetering, or he's teetering on the line of wanting to tell them, or at least tell his dad. But I mean, I'm sure he knows he's being recorded right now. I would assume he's not that dumb, although he is dumb enough to do what he did. So
I mean, I went downstairs.
he's gonna lie, huh?
I don't want to protect her.
What?
I don't want to protect her.
I don't want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
I don't know what else to say.
Is he really going the she did it route? Wow. 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 Hold on. I just need to pause for a second to. Wow. He did take that bait. He did take the bait that she did it. I bet you that he didn't even have that thought in his mind, right? Until she brought it up, the interrogator, and was like, and then he was probably in his mind thinking, ooh, you know what? That's a good way out of this. That's insane that he just lied to his dad. I just need like 10 seconds to process this. That's wild stuff, man. Holy crap. Wow. Phew. Jesus, man.
Huh? She heard him?
Yeah. And then
Oh,
no, I freaked out, not her.
You heard her?
One,
You smell it? Or choking?
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up. They were gone. Talking to her about separation and everything, about
She lost it.
what a loser. The fact that he did that to his wife, the mother of his children, already was cheating on her while she was pregnant, and now is lying on her name, knowing that she's not here to defend herself, trying to seem like the good guy, the hero, to save the children, or to defend the children's. It's like, what a I don't want to say too much because it's YouTube, but this really pisses me off. And he's just outright lying to his father. Who will this man not lie to? Who won't this guy lie to? I mean, it's insane.
I don't know, like, what else to say, like, I freaked out. Those are my kids. I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
This dad's probably just like, what in the world are we talking about right now?
I can see, like, shit's went up.
I'm choking her for that. What's she killing?
They're blue.
Both of them.
Yeah.
She choked both of them to death.
I freaked out at the same thing.
What can the dad be thinking right now, man? Phew. And I mean, if you're the dad, you have no reason not to believe your son here. You have no reason to not believe, like, oh my gosh, my grandbabies are gone because of his now ex-wife, and my son reacted poorly. But who in his mind, he's thinking, geez, I mean, who wouldn't react poorly if they saw that happen to their own children? So of course the dad's gonna have sympathy here and empathy here. Also, we're over halfway through this video already, almost 18 minutes in. Please consider liking the video to help me out. Leave a comment at any point on this video. If you don't mind, you guys have been really great with that, so thank you. And subscribe. We are getting real close to 5,000. We're at 4,600. And at 5,000, I'm going to be uploading my first real long-form video reacting to Rotten Mango. I was not sure if I was going to do the Diddy trial or just a random Rotten Mango video, but I just kind of want to do the Diddy trial one just because I want to learn more about it. If that's not your cup of tea, I understand, but because I know some people are saying like that's more like a podcast of hers where her other videos have footage and things, and the Diddy trial is not televised. But I just want to get up to date on that trial, so I'm gonna probably do that one to start, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, please subscribe and thank you for watching halfway through, and appreciate you guys. I know this is a heavy video, but just want to always show my support. Thank you for being here with me.
Range.
What's that?
Less than 10 seconds
And
after.
of course, they were they were listening to the whole thing. So now they're going to be like, hey, you know what? We knew you could do it, man. You're a great guy. Finally, the truth comes out. She knows he's lying. She knows she planted that seed in his brain. She knows.
After the mention of the word lawyer, the detectives re-enter the room and immediately reinforce Chris with non-verbal empathic communication. They immediately divert Chris's attention from the well-informed advice of his father to their own appreciative reception of his contemporary admittance.
Yeah, they're like, keep on talking. No lawyers here. Keep on talking.
Just help us work through this with you, okay? Will you tell us what you told your dad?
She was in there with her. On top of her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
Blue. That was my babies. That was my kids.
And the whole time, this freak is literally blaming his ex-wife on the exact thing he did to them. Said that she suffocated them when it's the way he did it. That's how he ended their lives.
What happened?
In there.
Shannan?
Although not the full avowal they are pursuing, Chris has still confessed partly to the crimes, and they now have one foot in the door. He is no longer free to leave. The interrogation now returns to a non-suggestive process, where the detectives will collect further information, where they will not contaminate with excessive or direct input.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm shaking. Both my kids are blue and they're gone. So horrible for what I did. I don't know what to do.
That's the hard part. We have left details where they're at.
You can help you get them out of the cold.
At that first location I went to that day. I don't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like none of this made sense. Why would she hit my fucking girls?
This is insane. He is really running with this now. And I think in his mind, he thinks, oh my God, I'm going to get away with this. Oh my God. This is it. Like, he's thinking, this couldn't be going any better. I'm going to get away from this.
I'm sorry.
I know.
And his dad feels bad for him because his dad believes it, obviously.
I know you came in today to do the right thing. Where'd you put him? Take him out there.
In the truck.
Did Shannan fight back at all? You did that?
The rage that I had after seeing that, not much. I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
I just can't I can't help but feel so bad for this dad who is consoling his son who he thinks just lost his children because of his wife, when this entire time he's rubbing the back of someone that took his grandbabies away from him.
It's like, my wife just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
You were in a tough spot. I think, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes over and...
What's going to happen?
We're going to help them get out of there. Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies, and you're still their dad.
And you don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you.
Now suddenly he's crying. Now he's actually crying suddenly. Interesting.
You give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged. Can you do that?
What the fuck is this?
And of course, all he's caring about is going to jail. It's like, dude, you just admitted that your whole family is gone.
This is just fucking horrible. I've always said she was an unstable person, but I never thought that in a million years that could happen. She just lost it. Why is this happening to me?
Why is this happening to me?
Two girls.
This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, as far as
No, not tonight.
Not tonight. Oh, it's going to be on the news. A YouTuber is going to react to it 5 years later.
Whereabouts? The Shannan and the girls.
Shannan right there.
The S for Shannan. Okay. And where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Mhm.
So how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
So shovel and that.
Also, and what they know is like, if his story was true, which is not, and his wife Shannan strangled his children, and then in a fit of rage he did the same to his wife, you really think that he would then take his children and bury them in like an oil tank or whatever the heck it is? No, you would just immediately call 911 and be like, "There's something horrific has happened. I need some. I don't know." You would hold on to any hope that your children could be possibly saved, or maybe someone could do mouth to mouth or anything, right? Even if it's obviously gone, you would not put them in your truck with a shovel. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not. That's not a thought that would go through anyone's head, anyone sane's head that's not a monster.
So it sounds like, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get him. Is there anything else we need to know?
What do you think of that, Chris?
He's thinking about going to jail.
Let my family down. Let my dad down, let my mom, sister, nephew, nieces, friends, co-workers.
Can I ask you another tough question? You just get it all on the table. When you see Shannan choking, strangling Celeste, and you get her off of Celeste, did you think about calling an ambulance? How come?
I see you laying there blue and limp.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, they were already gone. So instead of calling the authorities to tell them what happened, I buried my children and lied about it. Yeah, good plan there, Chris. What any loving father would do.
I've never seen something like that in my life. She just laid over, nothing she wasn't moving at all, no gasp of breath. She was totally just blue.
After the baseline information of Chris's version of events is gathered, he is now locked into an alibi and timeline of affairs that forensics will subsequently examine and dissect in ways so they can use it against him. The tone of the interrogation then reverts back from information gathering to a confrontational nature.
So Chris, doing this job for a long time.
I know.
I know a lot about psychology and as far as what people are thinking. And most parents will never even want to fathom that their kid is dead. Even
see, what am I telling you? Exactly what I'm saying. The last thought in your mind would be that you would be thinking there has to be some way someone could resuscitate them, someone could revive them. Call immediately, get people there immediately. Please, I need help. It would be it wouldn't be like, well, I guess they're done. I guess that's it. I'll go bury them now. Are you insane? Yes, he is insane.
Even if their kid's stiff, blue in bed, stiff, been dead all night, they still call an ambulance to see if someone can revive their child.
Exactly.
And when the ambulance gets there,
any hope possible.
Gosh, their kid's been dead all night. There's nothing we can do. And the parents are like, why are you not doing something? What are you talking about? So that's what we're used to. So that's why I want you to explain to me what was going on in your head and
the rage I felt for what she did. It just took over.
I would hate for Shannan to get a bad rap.
Yep.
If she didn't have anything to do with it. You know it's not fair.
I love this because she's the one that planted this seed in his head that she did it. He took the bait, and now he's guilting. Now that there's an admission and they're going to find the bodies and they're going to be able to figure some things out. And now she's switching back to exactly what I was saying before. Like, man, you're making your wife, who just lost her life because of you, you're making her out to be the killer of her own children that you know for a fact she would never even consider hurting in any way. It's just nauseating.
It's not fair.
There is no technical term for this approach, yet it's a clear attempt by the detective to interconnect to the suspect's sense of morality, which is always under the assumption that they have any.
Like, enough bad stuff has happened. Like, we need to stop the bad stuff from happening. So, you want to tell us the truth?
That is true.
So you're good with the public knowing that Shannan killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shannan?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
Chris, I'm not sure I believe you.
Are you sure Shannan didn't catch you in?
No, my God, no.
Don't get mad, but what it looks like is that you found a new life, and the only way to get that new life was to get rid of the old life. And I think that you killed these girls before
Chris pleaded guilty to these exact allegations 2 months later.
their mom came home and then killed Shannan. And that's what we're kind of left, that's what we have to believe, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean,
Like, what did he think was going to happen? He was going to live with this Nicole or Nicolette or whatever her name is, and nobody was going to find the bodies, and they were just going to say it couldn't have been Chris, and it would have been a mystery unsolved forever. Like, I guess that's what he thought in his mind. I guess I'll just have to move on with my life, huh, guys?
to her point, if I walked in and my kid was decapitated, I'd call an ambulance,
Right.
right? So
Knowing there's no hope.
it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So either you're this monster who says,
No.
I just want this young, hot girlfriend, so I'm going to kill everyone and hope it works out, or something. So I think we're very, very close to the truth, but not quite there yet. So if you're not that monster,
I'm not a monster.
so what's going to happen when their cause of death comes back to you, for the girls?
It's not going to.
Okay. You sure?
I'm 100% positive it's not going to come back to me.
And what happens when a coroner looks and says, sees your fingerprints on their neck?
Uh-oh.
It's going to be my fingerprints.
Okay.
You probably didn't think about that one.
It's going to be Shannan.
He probably did not think about that one. You know, in the back of his mind, he's probably like, oh, crap.
Why take their bodies out of the house and bury them?
I was scared. I didn't know what else to do.
Hide the evidence.
Okay.
Nothing was gonna, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know what to do.
Scared of what?
That's like saying, oh my gosh, my house started catching on fire, so I ran out of the house, and then I ran back in and started lighting more matches and started lighting up other rooms because I didn't know what to do, so I just said, why not just burn it all down? That's not how it works, Chris. Okay?
Scared of what everything was gonna look like. My 2 babies were gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I just did that to my wife. And I was the only one left in the house. What do you expect is gonna happen?
Yeah. It did look bad, right?
It looked, I mean, this was a nightmare.
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that we were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to them, this act of pure evil. What does that mean?
Mm.
It's this the evil that I saw when I walked behind Shannan and she was on top of CC. And then I felt evil for what I did to Shannan.
Okay. So after we look at their bodies, we're gonna have a lot more questions. Things are gonna be different then, but if you're willing, we'd love to talk to you then too. Now that we know what we know, we're going to, I need to check that you don't have any weapons on you or anything like that. Do you have any weapons on you? Okay. We'll do that. We'll go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna go in the stall with you, but I'm gonna go with you. And then we'll come right back here and we'll make a decision about how the rest of the night goes. All right, so you mind standing up so I can check?
This interrogation was a true testimony of how mental fatigue can restructure an individual's cognitive rationale. Chris maintained his innocence even after the failed polygraph, and if he had kept that stance, he would have walked out of that police department as a free man for at least another night. Yet, after a prolonged state of isolation, anxiety, and fear, coupled with the cerebral influencing tactics of the interrogators,
and his dad being there,
the alleviation of getting out of that situation was in that moment perceived as enough of a luxury to exchange his freedom for it.
Chris, come stand up for me. I'm going to have you face that wall. Lift up your hands.
Wow. My goodness. Well, I know there's more to watch on this case, so as always in the comments, let me know what I should watch next. I'm sure there's a lot of different things to go over, and a lot of different factors and things involved. So please let me know. Thumbs up the video if you made it to the end. Thank you for making it to the end. And F Chris Watts. Hope he rots in hell. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, almost at 5,000. Your single subscription could be one of the reasons that we get there, so that'll be fun. I think I made this channel on the 20th or 21st of April, so we might hit 5,000 subscribers in under the first 2 months. Crazy. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here on Triple R. I'll see you real soon. Peace out.